So you learn to fly, and that's awesome. If you're like most people, you probably learn to fly in something like this, or this, or these. Those are really common trainers, and they're great personal aircraft, but they're all tricycle gear. And frankly, tricycle gear was a huge improvement. It made ground handling much more consistent, a little more reliable, and fewer ground handling accidents. But have you ever considered entering the wild and wonderful world of taildraggers? Maybe you should. This episode is brought to you by RexAir Professional Pilot Academy of Sebring, Florida. Florida has been the go-to flight training destination for nearly a century. RexAir is a soup-to-nuts outfit that's got housing, classroom space. They fly RV-12 aircraft that are brand new factory built. They've got everything a flight student needs to be successful. RexAir is a bit different than most academies in that it's intentionally small. So there's more one-on-one CFI to student activity, and since the students all live together, the students all support each other. The goal of RexAir and their technologically advanced aircraft is to do the best they can do to help you get where you want to be for your professional flying life. So give them a call, 309-397-6191, or drop them a line, info@rexair.net. RexAir Professional Pilot Academy, Sebring, Florida. Like most people, I learned to fly in tricycle gear aircraft. Cessna 152s, 172s, Cherokees, Warriors, Archers. Really good airplanes, but they're all tricycle gear. And as much as that is a real benefit to us, I always had a hankering to fly taildraggers because I was always seeing taildraggers and they just looked so cool. There's fantastic classic taildraggers. There's home-built taildraggers. There's some very high-end taildraggers, even multi-engine taildraggers from the classic era that are just appealing as all get out. So I tried to get my taildragger sign off a multitude of times because, yes, if you didn't log time before April 15th, 1991 in a taildragger, you have to get an endorsement to fly a taildragger. And trust me, it's worth it because while in the air, a taildragger and a tricycle gear airplane fly pretty much the same, although the taildragger having a small little tail wheel instead of a big nose wheel assembly, it's lighter and maybe a little faster for the same horsepower. But on the ground, the taildragger is a whole different animal. You probably already know this, but the center of gravity in a tricycle gear airplane is forward of the main wheels. So when you touch down, the airplane pretty much wants to track straight. You have to put in a little bit of rudder input to stay on the center line and keep it on the taxiways, but more or less, the tricycle gear airplane wants to do what you want it to do. The taildragger, on the other hand, has a mind of its own. In the taildragger, the center of gravity is behind the main wheels. And because of that, the tail would really prefer to be out front, even though you would rather it stayed in the back. This is the great challenge and joy of flying taildraggers. By the way, this would be an excellent time to click that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. Have you ever flown a taildragger? Do you have a taildragger endorsement? Are you the kind of guy or gal who wants to get out there and really challenge themselves? Let us know. And now, back to the episode. You're going to learn so much about what the rudder pedals do. It's just going to be amazing because you think you're good on the rudders as a tricycle gear pilot. And for a tricycle gear airplane, you probably are. But learning how to handle a taildragger, especially a taildragger with a crosswind, is a real challenge. And I don't mean that in a disparaging or unhealthy way. I mean, we really learn how to control the airplane much better because we have to. The rule you're going to find that governs this is FAR 61-31, which says this: no person may act as pilot in command of a tailwheel airplane unless that person has received and logged flight training from an authorized instructor in a tailwheel airplane and received an endorsement in the person's logbook from an authorized instructor who found the person proficient in the operation of a tailwheel airplane. The flight training must include at least the following maneuvers and procedures: normal and crosswind takeoffs and landings, wheel landings, unless the manufacturer has recommended against such landings, and go-around procedures. It's not that much. It's mostly ground handling, taking off, landing, taxiing, going around, and wheel landings instead of a 3-point landing where we fully stall the airplane onto the ground. Wheel landings, we're going to just land on the mains and then let the tail down. There's a specific time and place to do that based on conditions. And it's better for an instructor to tell you in the airplane than it is for me to tell you on a video. But the point is, flying taildraggers is fantastic. It's a great way to sharpen your skills. And maybe most importantly, it's training to proficiency. There's no hour requirement. You don't have to put in 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. You just do it until you're proficient. You're making these takeoffs and landings without any assistance. Good for you. Taildraggers may not be for everybody, but I have a feeling, just like most pilots, when you see the diverse array of taildragger aircraft that are available out there, some of them very high-end, some of them very affordable. And once you realize you're not capable of flying those without that sign-off, without that training, it really makes it kind of desirable to get that training and learn how to fly taildraggers, because it opens up your world to so many more options. I got to admit, it took me years to get a taildragger sign off. Every time I would sign up with somebody to get some taildraggers training, somebody would put the airplane in a ditch or it would go down for maintenance for some reason. And in my case, I actually bought a Piper Cub specifically so I could get my taildragger sign off. And I am so glad I did, because I did own that Cub, and later I owned an Air Cam, an experimental twin engine. There's a whole world out there that you can experience, because now that you can fly taildraggers, and whether that's a home-built Pete and Paul or an RV or any one of a number of other aircraft that are absolutely fantastic, getting that taildragger sign off, getting that specific training in how to manage a taildragger, that opens up a whole new world. I guarantee you'll enjoy the experience, and you never know. It's at least possible when you get that endorsement and get a few hours under your belt, if you talk to your insurance carrier, it's possible your rate will go down because you have additional training and you've shown, I'm a safer, more knowledgeable pilot. It's amazing how that works, don't you think? Hey, I wish you the best with all your flying adventures, but don't leave taildraggers off the menu forever just because it's different and you feel like it's inaccessible. It's really not. It's a little challenging, and you're going to want to put some personal minimums in place. In my case, when I started flying taildraggers, I gave myself a maximum of 10 knots of wind within 30 degrees of runway alignment because I knew I could handle that. As I went on and got more experience, I could expand on it. But having those personal minimums in a taildragger is every bit as important as it is in the tricycle gear airplane for cross-country flying or whatever you have personal minimums for. So give that taildragger a shot if you can. I think you'll be glad you did it. And of course, now you'll have bragging rights because you can fly a taildragger. And that puts you in a pretty small minority of ultra cool pilots. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Come on back and see us next week. We'll have a couple more videos on equally fascinating topics. And until then, have a great time out there with whatever you choose to fly.